Okay, so let me describe the current situation with getting suggestions for Visual Studio Code. It applies only to Visual Studio Code. So let's assume we are typing something. This is a timeline we have. So at some point, like literally after each character, VS Code sends a suggestion request. It is telling our code, hey, please give us a suggestion. At this time, we are starting delay, but right now it is half a second. At this point, we are making request to our API. There are some more nuances like getting token, whatever, which we are not that much interested. At this point, we are returning data, and our extension provides suggestions to VS Code. And some later, this should not take this long, suggestion is shown. If for any reason during this timeline something happens and VS Code is no more interested in suggestion, it will send us an event telling that it is cancelled. The reasons for cancellation, like the most obvious reason will be that user typed something more. So we need to request another suggestion, or I don't know, user switch tab, he's not interested anymore, whatever. We are not that interested. Currently, what we actually, we do not act on this event at all. Instead, when we receive the response here, we are checking if it was cancelled. So we are not acting on event, just checking if it was cancelled. Okay. Additionally, unfortunately, we can't confirm that suggestion was shown. Copilot extension could do that, but our extension could not do because this is a part of the experimental APIs, and extensions which utilize experimental APIs are not allowed to be in the market. Well, unless you are owned by Microsoft as Copilot. So our idea is that we could easily measure cancellation rate, which will be the cancelled requests related to the total requests. Please note that this might or might not be identical cancellation request to rejections, because rejection includes also situation when suggestion is shown but just not accepted by user later. We are now speaking only when VS Code proactively requested us to cancel suggestion, telling that VS Code does not need it anymore. At this point, we could come with some number. I don't know. Let's say it's like 80% of our suggestions were rejected. What does it mean? That means that we are probably suggesting too quick for the user. And what I suggest is to measure dynamically this cancellation rate and to change our delay, proactively increasing it, probably to some limit, maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds, but it is discussable, 5 seconds, whatever. So basically, if user is slowly typing and we are constantly pinging our API with suggestions he or she is not interested in just because he's in the middle of the typing, we will slowly increase it, like becoming 100 milliseconds, 150 milliseconds, etc., up to some upper limit. This number should be configurable by us And this number should be configurable by us. The number of the maximum delay before requesting suggestions and the percent ratio when the suggestion delay is increased. This might also, we could have like a reverse ratio. So if the cancellation request number of cancellations is lower than another value, I don't know, maybe 20%, this number should be considered, we will decrease the delay. That means that we can provide the suggestions more often to user. So it might be dynamically in play. And by using this, we will decrease the number of obviously canceled suggestions. We will ping our API less often. And what is even more important, we could blindly adapt to this unknown delay in milliseconds. We don't know how fast it will take our API to answer for the suggestion because it depends on user internet speed and latency, our API speed and latency, current user location, whatever. But it will still contribute to the amount of canceled requests. That's why it feels like a good idea to me to start changing this number dynamically.